What's going on, guys? What's going on? It is another fine Saturday morning. Hey, Cheris, what's going on? Uh, good morning, my friend. How are you today? I am hoping you're doing great. Everybody's sleeping. I know I sound like I just woke up because I just did. I am. I got some family in town for the weekend, so my stream won't be very long today because I actually have to be. I need to be leaving out here about. I'd say about 10:45, and I need about 5 minutes to get ready. So I'm gonna probably do about an hour and a half a day. So I'm gonna go through three faces today, and then after I go to those three faces, then I'll go to my word of the day, and hopefully we can land right on that time. Also, Cherish, let me know if you want to be doing for our first, because I know you did the three classes last week on the stream. So if you want to do a class this week, let me know, and then we can go ahead since you already did book for your next three classes. So thank you again. I appreciate you. All right, let me see here. Who we got? All right, what's going on, guys, on Facebook as well? How you guys doing this morning? All right, so we're gonna get into it. We're not gonna waste a lot of time. As always, man, if you feel like you're benefiting from the information I'm gonna share with you today, it's pushing you forward in your caricature art journey, then hey, tips are awesome, and we appreciate it. Today, I got oh my guys, I got up this morning and it was a freaking leak in my roof, man, in my office, man. So I'm sitting here. I got a trash can right next to my desk, so like right here, right here. Like if I move too far to the left, it's gonna rain on me in my office, man. Come on, man. It's horrible. Anyway, we had the guy come out and look at it, so hopefully we'll be able to. We're gonna get that fixed up. Hopefully here soon. All right, so let's see here. Let's go ahead and I'm not gonna let the enemy rain on my parade today, right? All right, so let's see here. We're gonna go to Earth's World. I think that's where I'm gonna get my pictures from today, and then we'll go from there. All right. So been having a pretty good week so far. A lot of rain here in South Texas. A lot of rain, but you know what? Again, we're not gonna let it discourage us. Rain is good sometimes, right? All right. So nothing like a rainy day. Sometimes you just gotta have you one. Let's see whose face I want to draw here today. I don't know. Everybody's kind of looking the same to me today. Let's see. I want to find somebody that looks kind of happy. Golly. Let me see. Now he don't look happy at all. Do people go to the fair looking like this? This is what people look like when they're not getting watched. Let's see what else they got. I know they got some more search results here. Okay, I'll tell you what we're gonna do then. Let's go. Let's go over here to Pinterest, and then we'll just use Pinterest, man, because I'm not feeling those sad faces today. I just can't do it this morning, right? Doctor's appointment of this week, so I'm not sure this week is good. Let's do next week. Okay, cool, Cherish. Right on. Thumbs up, right? All right, there goes a face we can try right there, right? That face looks interesting. All right, okay, she got some Asoria knocker earrings. Those are $95 for some earrings, right? So I am hoping those earrings are pretty cool earrings, right? Let me just download two or three pictures. Let me see. We got this face. We'll mix it up today. We'll find somebody with some interesting features here. Mm, 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 mm. Okay. Let's look up shoes, hair, expressions. Let's be more specific. Maybe if we put smiles, because I'm trying to find somebody with a smile. Because most of the time when you're drawing a picture, you want to make somebody smile. So smiling faces. That almost brought this thing to my mind when I was a kid. I left South Carolina. They had this song, "Smiling Faces, Beautiful Faces, South Carolina." That was a song, right? My face didn't smile. I just did not like South Carolina. That's a good face right there. That's a big smile right there. Let's download that image. Okay. And then I don't know. We'll go ahead and dive in. Look at that guy. That's a good looking guy. Can't have him on the stream though, cause can't have nobody on here better looking than me. It's not a good thing. It's not a good look, man. Oh look. See now these two right here. It seemed like they cheesing a lot right there. This right here, we gotta have that, right? We gotta have that. Okay. So let's download that. Let's see if we can get through four faces. The view is cut off on the left side. Oh, okay. Hold on. Let me move over some. Tell you what. Let me move this way, and then I'll move. No, wait. I don't even need to move. I'm tripping. I just need to move my camera. I didn't mean to do that, guys. All right, there we go. So, how's that for you right there? Is that better, Cherish? Oh, by the way, give me a sec, guys. Let me go. Let me go turn my other light on here. The more light, the merrier. All right. All right. Awesome. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive in. Remember, guys, we're gonna keep announcing that throughout the stream that we do have the three classes. We are discounting those classes this week. So normally they're gonna be, I think it was three. What did we say? 30? Was it 369? I think it was three. They're $30 a class. 369. $35 a class now versus the 45. So yeah, I think that's what it was. Yeah. So if you guys book with us now, I am doing those classes with a discount for you right before back to school, right? And also, if you want to tip, you can tip through. You're already on Rouser World, guys, on Facebook, so you can just go to Cash App $ Rouser World, right? And so let's go ahead and dive into our first picture. There you go. Just so you can't say. And stars are awesome. Thanks. 3 for 105. Yeah, that's what it is. Thank you, Cherish. 3 classes for 105, right? My wife is the one that does all the technical stuff. So, all right, man, did I save that one? Okay, and let's save this guy here too, because I said I want to do that. Okay, and then let's back up here. All right, this guy here, let's look all right, so let me go to my gallery and go to my downloads, and this is the first picture up. Okay. All right, so we're going to study this face right here. First off, how it's going to work is we're going to start with the language of the face. We've been studying that for the last couple of weeks, right? So remember the language of the face being, we're going to go without L's, generally L's, some type of D shape, some type of nose shape. Normally the nose shape is going to be a C or a V, right? Sometimes you'll have a B, right? A D, or you'll have well, it's actually a D. Or you'll have your M, right? with your shape over the top like this. So these are different little nose shapes that we come up with. So we just basically take one of these here, and then we put that shape over here, right, to make a nose. So let's just show you how it works just real quick. Okay, something like that. And then when we get to our mouth shape, we use a couple of different shapes. We can use our D shape, which can be turned any way you want to, right? We also can use our Batman sign. Remember, we did the Batman sign, right? So that's the top of the Batman. If you can't visualize it, let me just go ahead and do this for you. This way you can see this is the part here that we'll be using. All right, and then you have, what was the other one? We have, blah, 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 blah. All right, then we have our kind of cup shape here. Okay, so these can go along. So let's say we want to put one of these in here. We do something like this, and then we make our caricature smile or whatever have you, right? And we make a face. All right, so let's go ahead and draw her face. I just want to go ahead and run through those with you real quick, okay? And then we'll come back and we'll refer to these. We're not going to keep these up here, but we'll refer to them. So let's study her face real quick. First thing I notice about her face, she has high cheekbones to me, okay? So it's not really many faces I can go to with this. I'm going to go with something with a high cheekbone. So I'm going to go with probably an arrow shape here. So I'm going to go down like this. I'm going to go around. And then I'm going to offset the arrow shape by adding more of a I'm going to call it the side of a house maybe shape. Or, you know what, I could just do like this and make this actually the side of the face and forget about that little bend right there. But I'm gonna put it in here. So I'm kind of gonna come across here, right? I'm gonna come down and around. Okay, you see, so this is like representing that jawbone right here, and then this is representing that cheekbone. Okay, so this is what I like to get down first, and then along with my neck shape. Okay, so once we have you will not be online, going to be in Texas for the weekend. Oh, awesome. Okay, Cherish. Coming to the great state, the Lone Star State, huh? Okay. All right, so let me see here. You be safe. Safe via haze, right? All right, now, once I get here, let's what else we notice here? I notice these nice round earrings here, so I'm going to go ahead and just drop some circles in here like this. Okay. All right. Not perfect circles on that one, but I'll just go ahead and put them in there. And the reason that I did that is to kind of give myself a landmark. I see a little square right here, so we'll add that little square in right here. Okay. From there, we can see she has a very round forehead, right? Now, what I want to do here, I don't want her. I want to give her forehead a little bit more size to make it appear like her jawline is smaller. So therefore, this round shape above it, I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger than what it is in the picture. Because what makes caricature interesting to me is that you want to have an imbalance in the sides of your head. For instance, if you have if I took three shapes here, okay, this is how the head works. Let's say this is a completely balanced one half head, okay, and this is usually where your eye line is. Well, if I move my eye line down, right, then I'm creating an imbalance where it's more like 1/3 of the head is up here and 1/4 of the head is down here. You get what I'm saying? Or I can create the imbalance by making the head go up here and thus creating a larger jawline. So when you take from the bottom, you have to add to the top and vice versa based off of the look you want, right? So with women, because I want my women, I'm going to stay between here and here. And more times than not, I'm going to go with some type of shape like this. Now, the more further down you put it, the more the shape starts looking like a baby. So if I go all the way down here with my eye line, well, now you can see it looks like a baby because all my ears and my shapes are going to kind of go down here. You get it? Okay, so this is an important rule of thumb to understand, especially when you draw. I see some caricaturists, they'll draw, and their kids will look like grown-ups. You know what I mean? because they don't understand this rule. They try to draw exactly what they're seeing versus exaggerating relationships. And then how you exaggerate a child's relationship is you move the features down even more than what they appear to be in real life. And so then you can make a really interesting kid caricature. So for her, again, we're going to go with somewhere in the middle. So if you'll just pay attention here, we're going to do, we could actually draw the eyes in first, but I'm going to go ahead and go with the head shape, right? So watch what I do here. Okay. I'm going to create a circle, right? Type shape. Okay. All of this right here is going to seem bigger, right? Up here. So you can see where my eye line is going to be like somewhere right around here, right? Okay, so now what I'm going to do is once I have that, right, I want to keep that nice roundness of her forehead. Okay, least shapes as possible is best. Okay, hey Tammy, how are you today? Welcome to the stream. Good morning. All right, y'all help me keep track of the time now, because I'll start talking. I need to get it. I got praise and worship practice at 11 o'clock today, so I got to be there a little bit early to set up my keyboard. So I hadn't played in a few weekends, so I want to play this weekend. All right, so I'm gonna go with I'm gonna go to her facial features. Okay. So what I'm doing here is I'm looking at the relationship of her features, and I can see her features pretty much taper down like this. Okay, which means that I want to draw my features in some type of triangle formation with the mouth ending up here. So what I'll do here is I'll go with my L shapes, little small L shapes, of course, for my eyebrows. I don't want anything too big because then it's going to take away from the forehead, all the work that I put in to make her forehead look bigger. So I'm looking at the forehead shape as its own space, and I don't really want a whole lot of, again, distraction there when it comes to that. Now, the next thing I'll do is I'll go to my nose shape. So we're going to go over here to our nose sheet, and we just simply pick a simple nose. So here we can see that the M nose with the arc over the top is going to be sufficient for this particular face. We can even actually use a C nose. All we have to do is understand, what does this nose look like in general, or what does this nose feel like in general, okay? And when we start thinking like that, well, this nose literally feels like, and I know it's a lot of lighting in that. Let me see if I can, there we go. Okay, so this nose feels very round, so we really can't miss as long as we go with something that's round. So I'm gonna go with that M shape again. So I'm gonna put my M shape first, okay, and I'm gonna center that kind of with my chin here. So I'm gonna go M, right, and then I'll go with my shape over the top. Again, I'm gonna not make her nose big. Now I could make the nose really big, but this is just my particular style of caricature not to do that. Okay. Once I finish with that, then I'll go ahead and I see her eyes look very kind of Asian-y, tilted. So I'll use the D shapes, but what I'll do is I'll use them kind of in the slanted position. Okay. And then I'll add the top over the eye like this. Okay. So it's the same D shape that's here. Only thing I did was I slanted it and did like this. You get what I mean? Same thing. Okay. So, then I'll just do like this and add my eye shape in there, right? Okay. All right, now, once we have that, then we'll go ahead and we can add a little bit of eyelash. She doesn't have a great deal of eyelashes in this picture, so we're not going to add. So I'll put just a little bit in there, but not much, okay? Okay. Now, once I have that, I'll go ahead and put my little line in between the nose. Very light, just to create a bridge in between those two spaces, but make sure, now notice how all my features are tapering down like they are here. They're tapering into a triangle shape, okay? All right. Oh, yes, Tammy. I'm gonna need somebody to help me. Somebody help me now. All right. Now, well, let me see. Let's go with our mouth shape. So here we got a couple of mouth shapes. This one I can see is pretty simple. Really, what it looks like to me is something like this, which, if I were going to draw that mouth shape, or I could just do like this. So this shape looks kind of like that to me. Okay, so when I draw it here, I'm just going to do something like this. But I'm going to make it smaller, and then what I'll do is I'll go to the top, I'll put my lip here, and then we got our bottom lip, just like that, right? Okay, so it's pretty simple right there. She doesn't have much of a smile line, so I think that's an easy. Matter of fact, I'm gonna put that shape here for a top lip here. That's a pretty interesting shape, man, right there. So just remember that line. I have to think of something to call that, but it looks like a W shape. Looks kind of like a W, or maybe like a gauge of some kind. Like if you had a 0 and a 5 and a 6. You got these little things in between. You ever seen that right there? It looks like a gauge of a right. So y'all can remember that's what we did for her mouth right there. Okay. And then I'll add some little circles in here, just to give us a little lighting in there. I'm doing black and white, so I'll do something like that, just to beautify. So I have a very beautification type style of caricature. I don't do those caricatures that's going to make you look like, I don't know what those caricatures be looking like, but they be looking like something. You know me, I'm not going to say nothing bad about nobody else in their face. Nah. Okay. All right, let me see. So pretty much, this is an easy peasy caricature, right? From here, if you want to add the other cheekbone in, that's what I was saying with this other side of the face here. I believe I could have got away with not even doing. I know it looks like a triangle over here and stuff like that, but I feel like I could have got away with just leaving this jawline off. But if not, I still could go over here and just draw a little line like this and just kind of put that other cheekbone there. But still, I don't know. I felt like it would have been smoother to leave this off. You know what I mean? But I guess it's okay, right? If I add some shadow there. Okay, so just darkening our eyebrows real quick. Okay. Don't forget, guys, on Facebook, if you don't mind, don't hit that star button over there. Give us a couple of stars this morning if you feel compelled to do so, because you're benefiting from our stream. Let me go over here and get oh great, I got a crayon over here I can use for that. I got 1 or 2 crayons actually. Okay. So from here we'll just put some shadows or whatever have you in the picture. All right. Okay. Just like this, just some simple little shadows. You don't need much. Just some 1, 2, 3. Right. Be careful not to color in your circles, right? Just kind of go around them a little bit, And you can see you did a little bit of beautification. She has like these really deep wrinkles under her, dark spots under her eyes. I just can't bring myself to put there. But if you want to, you can, right? I just decided not to do that with my picture, okay? And then from here, you just kind of get your crayon, right? All right. And then we just go ahead and use our little crayon, right? This is a regular crayon. Make sure you sharpen your crayon up, right? Sharpen it up. And you can see here how we can just really do some really cool, nice hair. We don't need a whole bunch of expensive stuff, right? To do this hair, we just give it a little bit of TLC, right? In life, they tend to try to talk us into a lot of things we don't actually need, right? It's funny how the human mind works. We just think we need so much stuff that we don't even like. It doesn't even matter in the big scheme of things, right? I can't live without this. They got a song called "I'm Lost Without You." It's easy to see, right? And you're like, what? I'm lost without you. Watch you, baby. We better find a map. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? But yeah, you know what I'm saying. So many things, and caricature, is just an extension of life. I mean, this is a way this is literally the way we interpret, you know, things. People. We look at them and we say, well, this is what I think they look like, or whatever have you. Okay. And man, that one's came out pretty cool. I wonder if I could have got away with going with a reverse like eye on that. Like you see how her eye with this one I went kind of with the D shape going upwards. So what if I would have said just real quick? Let's just put it underneath here. This way we don't really change it. Okay. What if I would have said this is the eyebrow, right? Gives out my little L shapes, right? But what if I would have went with a shape like this? I kind of like that one. Right? And then we go back with this shape. I think that one would have worked out too. Now let's look here. Let's see if what would have happened if we'd have left the other cheekbone off and went straight with this. I still think it could have worked out with the round forehead, right? Just create like a little hairline like this, and then we'll put our hair around it, right? I think that one could have worked out too. Hmm. What do you think? I forgot to put her ear over here. That's what was missing. I totally forgot, right? All right. So that's another way we could have did it. But I think I went too hard on it. So let me show you. I think I went. You see here, this is a little bit too. What's the word I'm looking for? I put too many lines. So when you use those shapes, don't draw them so robotically. Just kind of. So we got L, and then let's go with the D like we did it, but not with so many lines in it. I think having the heavy lines kind of threw it off. You see, when I did the less. See how line weight's so important. See, that's the same shape, but I just drew it with less line around it, less line, and that made a pretty good difference right there. You know what I'm saying? Like that. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Yeah, this is the one. This is the one. This is the one. Right? And you see the circle going all the way around the head, right? And then coming into this shape over here. I like that one. I think this is the best one, personally, but I could be wrong. You guys may have different opinions about that, right? See? Not too much eyelash. I think this one is it. Beautiful. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So that's it right there. That's the one. So you can see this is our. We still use all the same shapes, but it's still trial and everything to see which one works. I find that this D shape, and I'm gonna tell you, if you get lost about what kind of eye shape I'm using, I'm gonna show you something that's gonna make you really just be like, okay, now I can't forget this. Watch this. Tell me when you recognize this. Anybody starting to recognize this? Okay. That is the universal sign for pizza. Not messing with you. Everybody's seen it. I just went to see Deadpool and Wolverine yesterday, actually. Really good movie. I recommend it. The Rouser gives it 2 thumbs up, right? But this is the shape that I'm using for her eyes. Only thing I'm doing, and see, it's a whole bunch of them. It's actually one, two, three, one, two, three, four. So it's a whole bunch of them in there. So all you're doing, look, L, and then upside down Deadpool. You can do it like this, right? You can go like this. This is the other way around. Okay? All of those are these shapes here being expressed in different ways. You know what I mean? So you could just look at it like that. Deadpool. Right? All right. So I think we're done with that one. What time we got? 9:35. Okay. All right. So let's go to our next picture here. So we're gonna go to her face. Okay. Now, what are we noticing about her face right here? All right. Well, what I'm noticing definitely here, I see the first thing that kind of caught my eye was the huge spacing between the eyes. She has a lot of space here in between those. And then she has a very big smile. Everything else kind of takes a back seat to that. Everything else seems kind of small in relation to that particular thing. So when I drawing her picture, we can kind of map it out like this. We'll use our little square here. Okay, a little equilateral square. This will help you budding beginners, right? Okay. Thank you, Purple Skull. Appreciate you. Okay. All right. Now, what are we looking at here? Well, what I want to do is I got my eye line here. Remember, we told you the rule of thumb that when you are drawing a picture, when you move the eye line, when you have 50-50, that's like a normal head. Okay. When you move this line down, then the person begins to look like a little younger. If you move it up, they look a little older, right? Or they have bigger jaw lines like this one. Okay. And then if you move it all the way down to the bottom, then they begin to look like children. Okay. So this is the line right here. Now the advantage of having this piece of this little square is that now you can see your eye line, right? And so now I'm free to make shapes based off of the eye line. Okay, I know how much spacing I want to go from here to here. I can already see how much spacing I want from here to here. Then I told you these things will all be smaller, right? So they'll play less of a role in my picture. Now with this shape here, generally, even though she has it appears to be a large jawline, I really don't want to emphasize that too much. So either I'm going to go with an exact half and half situation, but I'm not going to go with something that's too small where it makes my jawline look big. You get what I mean? So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to kind of do something like this here and bring it back around. So you can see here that I have what the disparity is between the top and bottom, right? It's pretty much the same, right? If I move my fingers down, I pretty much use the same amount of space here as I used here to keep your face, your eyes from saying, look at the size of that jawline, right? And then once I have that shape, I can, because she has short hair, what you can do is you can just add her hairline within the shape itself. You see what I'm saying? Like that. All right. Now we have our 4 boxes, so we know where all of our features go. We know this is basically I call it the brow line, to be honest with you, because my brows usually, if they're very close to the eyes, they'll be on this line. The further away from the eye they are, they'll go up here. Okay, these are my eye boxes basically, and these are my eyebrow boxes. Okay, all right, so let's go with, we have a lot of space. Look at that spacing between the eye and the eyebrow. So I'm gonna go with my L shapes here. And I'm gonna put a lot of spacing up here. Now also to cut down on how big the forehead looks, right? I might make them a little bit bold, right? And then I'll come down. Now I'm gonna drop down here and I'm gonna look for my eyes, okay? So now what we're gonna do, we got a lot of spacing, which means that we wanna draw our eyes toward the outside of this box, okay? So now, to get that right, we're gonna look at Deadpool, right? And then we'll do something like this. We go with the Deadpool, but we're gonna do Deadpool like this. Okay, see the same Deadpool shapes here, right? But only thing is I turned them right side up. So basically I drew them like this, okay? And I took it and I put it here, but I just kind of suggested it in there, right? And then I come over here and add my eyes in there, okay? Let's just go ahead and darken them in, okay? And we're golden, right? Now all we got to do is just add some little eyelashes on the end, see? Just like that. So we got that look, you know, in our picture like we want. Now we know our nose is going to go right, usually it's going to connect right to this center line right here. So for this shape right here, you know what I'm thinking about? I'm thinking about I'm thinking about, let me see, how could I think about that? I could go something, I want something kind of that's going to denote the roundness of the shape. So I'm going to do something like this. And then I'll add the other side. Okay, and then I'll add this little nose, right? You see? Like that. And then I'll come over here and do something like this. Because we still want them to look far apart. So we don't want this line to be too thick, right? Because if we put a thick line right here, it's going to kill the spacing of the eye. What makes her eyes look also very far apart is that she doesn't have a very prominent bridge in her nose. So that's why it's appearing that her eyes are further apart to you as well. So not only are they far apart, but that helps to exacerbate that fact a little bit. Okay. So from here, now we're at our mouth shape. So with this particular shape, I would use the Batman shape. And basically what that is my shape is going to go like the edge of the Batman, come down, top of the Batman, come up and go up like this. And then I'm going to come down here and add the bottom of my shape. And then I'll add the lip. Virtually not even really giving her a lot of chin shape. She doesn't have a big chin, you see? So see how big and nice and big that smile is, right? So I turned up that smile, okay? And now all the thing I'm doing here, when I'll go with this particular drawing, I will go with the gum line first, okay? And the reason it is because it'll help me with my teeth placement a little bit better. So I'm just going to think of a bunch of M shapes, basically. Watch this. M, right? M, and smaller M's as you go back. M and smaller M's, right? So I can see my gum line now. So now I can say, okay, this is where I want to put my front 2 teeth, right? Next to that tooth. And I can line them up. easier. See, so she got nice, pretty, straight teeth, right? And then we go over here, and I could for the bottom teeth, I don't need all this detail in my teeth. I'll just go ahead and do those a line like this, and maybe a little W right here at the bottom. Okay, and pretty much we're done with that. Okay, so here we can put her neck, right? So with this picture right here, obviously I can't fit her whole neck in there. So what I'll do, with comedic effect, I'll look at this box in relation to that box, and I'll say I want to make her neck look small in relation to this box I drew. So I'm gonna pretend like it's going and it's tapering from that box, and maybe it's holding the box like about like this, right? You see, and then we got her collarbones here, right? And then we can add some more lines here for her eyelashes. Okay. And just kind of coloring our darks for the hair, right? Okay. And once we finish, we can we'll go ahead and just erase our guidelines here. Okay, and we got a pretty good picture. Okay, we could add shadows, whatever you want. Okay, again, we could enhance our drawing just a little bit by adding little small details that we have deemed from our picture. Okay. Now, there are, again, many ways that different artists will approach this picture. This is just my particular approach, right? Hey, thank you, Tammy. I appreciate you. God bless. Thank you. Awesome. All right, I got a tip today, guys. All right. So let me go ahead and hold on. Let's see here. Thank you. All right. And then we got thank you. And happy faces to you too, Tammy. All right. So that's our second face. We're making pretty good time, 9:45. All right, so let me see here. We're gonna go ahead and go to our next face. Again, like I said, once you understand the relationship idea, then you can take your picture. You can do all kinds of different exaggerations with it. I just like to keep mine, pretty simple like this. But again, if the power of having that square in your picture is, or seeing it in your mind, at first it may be a physical thing that you draw, but once you have that, you can do all kinds of stuff. Again, with her face, I would never ever ever make her like have this huge, So like for instance, you might see if I do anything with this of exaggeration, I'd go smaller and then bigger. Okay, so what I would do is I would do something like this. Let me just give you an example. Now look how small this relationship is compared to this relationship. Even now, I think I'll make everything smaller here, right? So if I want to do any type of exaggerating, it's going to be something like this. Okay, you see? So now I'm gonna make everything smaller. Here. But again, notice how when I did this, she started looking more like a baby. But it still is not distasteful. Okay? This is just an example again of how I can move the center line to create different ideas. Same person, different movement of the features. I could even do it so much that I could watch this. I could draw her this way, where I literally don't even close the face off at the bottom. Watch this. Make the ears smaller. I can make this relationship huge, right? I can do my L shapes, right? I can do her eye shapes again here and here, making them far apart. Then we got her nose shape, right? Boom, right? With the earring, right? Boop, boop, right? And then I could come here, go like this. Watch. Make her lip, right? And then I could do like this and like this, right? And don't even give her. Okay. So you can see all of these different ways to approach this caricature, right? Okay, so all of them, in theory, look like her, right? You got more of a, you know, regular kind of a version type thing. Then you have a version where she looks a little bit more mega mind, right? And then you have the one where you really push the envelope and you made something funny out of it, right? But it's still not like super ugly. I mean, you get what I mean? It's kind of funny to be actually, but you get what I'm saying. Okay. All right, so we are done with picture number 2. Let's put that to the side. All right, she's like, right. All right, let me see. Let's go to our next picture here. Okay, so this is our next face here. Again, what do I observe about her face? Well, her face is not very long. Again, it's kind of formula to me. Either she's going to be a 50-50 face, or I'm going to add slightly more shape to her forehead. So, again, let's go ahead. I don't even think when I'm doing female caricatures what to do, or male. You know, guys, you can do a little bit more to their face because they don't get like, hey, Jermaine, what's going on? First of all, let me stop right here and tell you thank you so much for becoming a Patreon on our page. We really, really appreciate you, my friend. Thank you so much. Good morning. How are you? I was working on a personal message for you, but then my roof started leaking. And it stopped now because it stopped raining. But yeah, I was just sitting here and I was like, why am I getting wet in my office? And next thing you know, So I'm gonna have to get me an umbrella up in here. I'm gonna have to have the guy come out and look at the roof. Oh my gosh. I'm about to do a fundraiser for that. Oh my god, it's gonna cost. I know a roof. I think a roof costs about 10 grand to get a roof on your house, man. So it's gonna be, man. Golly, if it's not one thing, it's another, man. All right, but we gotta stay grateful, right? All right, so let's get into this picture right here. What am I looking at here? Number one, her face is kind of roundish, right? It's kind of roundish. It's not really, it's kind of roundish, but when it gets down here, it's kind of like, a little bit of angle in the chin. So it's really like an ovally shape, right? So what I'm gonna do again, I got my brow line here. I'm gonna come around from my brow line and say, you know what? I wanna curve around the corners of this box into the chin shape, and then I'm gonna curve back around it. See it? So I'm using. Oh, y'all packing? Where y'all going? Y'all leaving this? Are y'all staying in the same state, or y'all leaving to go somewhere else? And then we'll just go ahead and connect our ear shape here. Nice and simple, right? Okay. And then look, we got our neck in relation to this box right here. Okay. So using that box is going to be a real advantage. I mean, if it tells you where to put your curves at in your face. So if you look at the curves here, you can see I curved in relation to the corners of the box. When I get up here, I'm going to do my top shape. So if I want to figure out how much dead space I'm using. So basically, I'm looking at this line here where her hair begins at, right? And understand that your hair only takes a small part up of your skull. So let's go ahead and go. We'll go with about a shape like something light, right? And we want it to be rounded around the shape, right? You see how we want it round? And look here, we want it round here. So it's telling me, hey, this is where we want to round off at. You get what I mean? So that's where. Oh, really? Had too many? Yeah. Sometime that, yeah. A house with problems. Tell me about it. All right, let me see here. So now we're going to go to our hair shape. And again, we're going to go with a little bit of, we're going to just look at it like a one big shape. Okay. If you can't draw your shapes real simple, like with not a lot of lines, it means you're confused about what you want to draw. Okay, so put the pen down and really look at it. But don't overthink it either. This is not rocket science. It's really just trusting the instinct to draw the shapes that you see. You know what I mean? Okay. So now let's go ahead and go to our eyebrows. So we see here she doesn't have a great deal of space. I could go with something, but when you close your eyes, your eyebrows kind of come down close to your brow line. So she has like a minimal amount of space here, but really she has a lot of interaction. So we're gonna go with an L shape that kind of interacts with her eyebrows, her brow line a little bit, right? And I actually could have got away with making that a little bit further out here. So I'm not gonna make these thick. I'll just do like that. And then with these eyes, I have, these are going to be my eye-shaped eyes, meaning that they are literally like the lowercase I. So what I'll do is I'll think of an eye and I'll just go right across that eye line. But I'll bend them just a little bit to give them a little bit of life so they're not that straight. Even though they appear to be straight in the picture, there's no such thing as straight lines, right? In a face. Because a face is a dimensional object. Not going to have a whole bunch of. So now we got our eyebrows in there. So here we're going to go to our nose. Actually, I should have dropped that down some more. I went a little high with that, but that's okay. I'm going to do a shape like this. Okay. And she has like that squeeziness in between the eyes right there. And then all we're doing here is doing our Batman. So we can put the center of it if we want. And go what? Like that. Like that. And then we want something that's very round. And very round. And then we want our roundness to be here. Okay. All right. And now we'll go to our mouth shape here. So with the mouth again, I'm going to start here with I'm going to go with my M shape here. M, 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 right? And you can see she has a gap, right? So am I going to play around like that? No, we ain't going to play around like that. Now, some artists might take that and be like, okay, then put somebody else's head between those two shapes, right? I don't know. I've seen somebody do something like that before. I was like, my goodness. But me, I'm gonna keep it sensible. All right? I'm just gonna do like this. That's it. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. I'm good. I'm totally good with that. Okay. She got a little butt chin. All right. And then I think, was that an earring? Oh, she got some big hoops in her ears. Big hoop earrings. All right. And usually when a girl has short hair like that, I'll go ahead and still do something like this so she don't look so like guyish. Oh, okay. It's 10, so I got about I want to get out here about 10:45. So yeah, let me go ahead and start wrapping this up, guys. We got to get into our word of the day. So we are done with that part. We are done with the drawing section. So guys, give me about 2 to 3 minutes here. I'm gonna go ahead and get out my materials for the word of the day, and then we will do that and get you guys on your way for your Saturday, right? Okay. All right. So guys, give me just a moment. We will be back shortly, and I'll be back. Right. Give me a sec. All right, guys. So we are back. I just wanted to get all my stuff ready here. So today we're going to share a little devotional time. This won't take long at all. Today our word of the day is going to be a better way. A better way. So if you have your Bible out, we're going to be coming out of John 16:3. If you guys haven't, this is my book called Jesus is Calling. It's 365 devotions for kids. It is written by Sarah Young. I actually got this book at a dollar store, but I'm always looking for books, devotional books, because they help me to grow and expand as a person. And so I like to share those on my stream. Um, so we're gonna be talking about a better way. You know, when um, we were, I'm gonna use the example of the roof on the house. You know, uh, we have a there's a when I went up to the roof yesterday because we had this leak in the roof or whatever, and I went up there um, yesterday or a couple of days, and I tried to patch it up or whatever, and then me and my wife got to talking about it, and we were like at first thinking about, okay, financially, let's just do it this way, and then keep putting it off, putting it off, putting it off, but then there was a better way to do it. The better way was, I know that you know when you try to take the cheap route, then you wind up with a bigger problem later on. So the better way was to go ahead and trust God to uh, to do it the way that we're supposed to do it, and know that He's going to bring provision for us to be able, as long as we're doing it the right way. And that is the better way. And that's what this word is going to be talking about today, a better way. So let's go to John 16:13. And it says here, in this world you will have trouble, but be brave. I have defeated the world. Okay. So that's really kind of self explanatory. He's saying to me, Harry, and he's saying to you as well, that no matter whether you're saved or not, whether you believe in God or not, it has nothing to do with it. Everybody will have trouble in the world. But it says you have to be brave in a situation. In other words, what can we do to help ourselves to endure the tough times that happen in our life, those problems that we make, they're small problems really in comparison to the big picture, but we make them big because we feel like we have to fix it on our own. We feel like we have to be our own. A good example of that might be when I first married into this family. When I married my wife, um, I didn't grow up with a family like that was very close. I had a family, but I didn't grow up with them like circumstances and things happen where we just didn't grow up close to each other. So I have cousins and aunts and uncles I hadn't seen in 20, 30 years, right? And my mother's sisters and brothers, my father's sisters and brothers, my father's kids, what I'm saying? My father's brothers and my aunt's kids, and I haven't seen any of them in so many years. And so when I married into this family, I felt like my wife was very opposite. Her family was very opposite. They were always intertwined with each other, always being around each other. And I didn't know, how to be part of a family like that. So oftentimes I would want to get away, or make an excuse for not wanting to be a part of, a family, because I just kind of didn't know, how to do that. You get what I'm saying? So we have to, it's saying here for us to rely, not only will we have trouble, but that we must allow God to do what He's going to do in a situation, even though it's a new situation that we're unfamiliar with, uncharted territory, all that kind of stuff. It's a mentality that we have to have in order to, um, and obviously this is a better way for me, because now that I see, after I went through all the stuff of going into a new family, right? Then I began to see the benefits of having a family and not being by myself, not being alone. You get what I mean? And my with my thoughts and all this kind of stuff. It's good to have somebody to talk to. It's good to have, and so I raise my children like that now. I will go out of my way, whereas and before I wouldn't. Now I'll go out of my way. I don't expect for their cousins to always come over to my house. I'll get up and say, come on, let's get dressed. Where are we going? I'm gonna take you to go see your cousins. Well, why? Just because I want you to have family when you get older. I don't want you to be alone in this world. Because I've learned that there's a better way to live life, and it's not good for man to be alone or woman. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's not good for anybody to be alone because that's the devil's tactic. But either way, it says, "I have defeated the world." Okay, he's saying not only will you have trouble, but he say walking in faith, walk without fear of it, knowing that I'm going to be the provision for you, and know that I've already defeated the world, that there's nothing that this world can do to you because I've overcome that. We tend to believe that, even when we look at death, a lot of people are scared to talk about that topic, or, and I will admit that sometimes even we're all human, I guess. No, we don't want to really. None of us want to leave our family and friends with stuff behind. But to have a healthy mental life, you're going to have to face that issue, and you have to face it with God, because without God, it doesn't make sense. It just that whole topic is going to seem unfair to you. Why would, somebody take me away from the things that I love? And me and my wife were actually talking about this at home. Coming from church the other day, we were like, isn't it crazy how we just do the same thing over and over and over and over every day? You know what I mean? And how many times can you do the same thing? You go eat at the same place, or you eat at a different place that'll give you the same thing but call it something different. You got TGI Fridays, you got Steakhouse this, you got, you know what I'm saying? But after a while, it all kind of is the same thing. You take the route to work, you come back home, you go visit. You get what I'm saying? So you have to. The only joy that you can really get is by understanding that God is allowing you every day that you wake up. You're waking up with a purpose, because the things around you really don't make a. They don't. It kind of gets mundane because you do it every day. You know what I mean? Going to work the same place every day for 20 years. You know what I mean? And some people think, okay, I'm gonna go a different place every way there. Like, I'm a caricature artist. I don't have to go to the same place every day, but it still gets to be mundane to me to draw sometimes, or mundane to do the job. So I have to think differently. I have to think I'm doing a purpose for something. You know what I mean? So I have to walk and be brave and not be defeated. So let's read the devotional real quick. It says, you tend to approach problems as if you were going into battle. We tend to approach problems a lot of times like we're going into a battle. The problem becomes the focus of our thoughts. Okay? Your mind and body tense up as you prepare to fight. It's the ultimate battle. You versus the problem. And if you don't win a total victory right away, you feel defeated. I can certainly relate to that. Just again with the situation with the roof, right? And I'm sitting here and I'm like, man, and I'm looking at it and I'm looking at this one and I'm looking at the I'm pissed. And I'm like, man, and I almost didn't stream this morning because I felt like, man, this is really annoying. Like, I don't, you know what I mean? And then it was like, but part of me said, you know what? I'm going to do the stream and I'm going to laugh at it. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not going to allow this problem, right, to get in the way. I know there's you guys that come and you look forward to the word of the day. You look forward to drawing. We look forward to our fellowship, right? And then to let something that really, in the big scheme of things, doesn't even matter. In a few days or weeks or whatever, it'll be fixed. And 2 months from now, this will be a memory, and it'll be something that I look back on and say, I can remember that time. You know what I mean? But we sometimes we focus on that problem so much. I focus on problems so much that I feel, I can get upset about this problem, which really, when you focus on something too much, it's like when you're drawing a picture, when you're doing art, when you focus and you look too much, then you miss the whole concept of what you're supposed to be doing. So the reason that I teach little small, like when I told you guys about the Deadpool in the eyes, right? Well, I reduced the eye down to that so that you can understand that stop trying to draw this exact replica of, because you don't have to do that. Even if you're drawing a literal portrait, you're not going to draw an exact replica of an eye. You know what I mean? And most people don't have 5 hours to sit there and just focus on one eye to draw a hyper realistic eye shape for 3 weeks straight. You know what I mean? Nobody have, who, that's not realistic. Somebody, if they're doing that, God bless them. But that's not the type, especially with the type of art that we're doing, that where you have to train your mind to be able to see that you don't need as much as you think you need. Okay? And I'm going to put that down here. We don't need what we think we need. I like to take notes when I'm studying. Okay? The Bible says that I will show you how to do more, hold on, by doing less. Hold on one second. Okay, hold on a sec. All right, I'm gonna find that script. Hold up. Hold on a sec, guys. Okay. Yeah, it says it was in John 3:30. He must increase, but I must decrease. Is a verse where John the Baptist says that his purpose in life is to exalt Christ, not himself. Less is more, and more is less. In Psalms 37:16. It even says in Ecclesiastes that there's wisdom in speaking fewer words. There's wisdom in drawing these. When I show you these pictures, I show you how to do more by doing less, because there's wisdom in that. Not only will you not take as long to do what you're doing, you're not going to say things that are unnecessary to say. So if I'm drawing somebody and I'm sitting here and I'm giving them, and I'm trying to do all of this, big teeth, and I'm doing, what I'm saying, I want to show how ridiculous I can make the picture so I can, you get what I'm saying. All of this stuff makes it where you're saying more than you need to say, and there is a better way. It says there is a better way. It doesn't have to be a winner takes all fight. When a problem starts to take over your thoughts, talk to me about it. Step back and get some space between you and your trouble. Let me show you things from my point of view. You'll probably find that it's not really such a big deal. That's how I deal with my problems in life. I already understand in my tendency, this is the I statement, my tendency is to make things bigger than what they really are. I don't know if you have that issue. But I know pressure busts a pipe, right? And all we have to do in our mind is have the illusion that the pressure is building up. All we have to do is get placed in a situation where we feel helpless and that we can't do anything about it. And then that problem will begin to dominate our thought life. And what do we rely on when we get into those situations? How do you come out of something like that? Well, there's really only two ways. The first way, well, it's actually three ways. Excuse me. The first way is to try to do something to shut off our brain, to shut off our feelings and our emotions. Whatever way that may be. Maybe it might be drugs, or maybe it's a little alcohol, or maybe it's pornography, or maybe it's going to buy something. Some people are shopaholics because they get stressed, so they got to shop because that's their drug. You know, some people, I don't know. It's so many ways to try to to distract your mind, to act like the problem ain't even there, like to kind of turn your brain off. The second way is to end it all. If you're not here anymore, right? Because that's the other extreme. If you're not here anymore, right? Because you can't deal with the problem, you can't run from it, you can't fight it. I don't want to deal with it. You can only turn your brain off, or you can turn you off, right? And that's when we start talking about things like suicide. I can't do anything about it, so I'm going to self-destruct. And yes, sir, I see you say, "Hey, I just pull into myself and shut down," and that's a drug within itself. That would be along the lines of option number one. But I believe that's also partially number two, because death to the self doesn't necessarily mean that you go out and put a gun to your head. It can mean that you begin the phase of that. You internalize it, 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 until one day you don't have anything left to stuff under your bed and in your closet no more. You're going to come in there one day, like, I don't know if you ever seen the show Hoarders. I watched that show one time, and the people this lady had hoarded so much stuff in her house that she didn't even have room to walk in the front door. Eventually, she didn't have room to put one piece of paper in that house. I'm talking about a 2-story house. Every room from top to bottom was filled with garbage. So it doesn't necessarily, it says, again, there are sins, and then there are sins that lead to death. And then what is death? Well, death is when one completely loses their way. And when you shut you off, it doesn't mean just suicide, but it does mean that. Suicide doesn't necessarily mean that you kill yourself physically. You can kill yourself mentally. And then you wind up a person that stays in the house. I don't want to talk to anybody. I don't want to do anything. And everybody's, so you can become one of those extremes. And the third way is that we develop a spiritual life. We have somebody that we can go to that we know is going to fix the problem. And we always are aware, and we have a relationship with this person. Okay? That's what God is to me. God is the one that, you know what? I don't even know what to do about this. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. You said in your word, right, that if I ask and I come to you and ask for what I need, right, and you know what my heart is, and you know why I'm asking for this, you said that you will give me the desires of my heart. If I follow you, that you would make sure I was taken care of. If I follow you, you're going to make sure my family's taken care of. Why would you bring me this far just to let this happen? I know you got a plan for this. So, therefore, since I know you got a plan, and you're the Almighty God, you're the one that I look to for everything in my life, and I know you have the answer to all things. This is why we must have that kind of reverence for God. We must believe in him like that. Okay? Then, when you get into situations, option number one and number two don't occur to you. because you know where your source is. So again, it says at the end of that sentence, let me or let God show you things from a different viewpoint, right? That's the viewpoint what I was telling you about. And you'll probably find that it's not really such a big deal. And finishing up here, it says there will always be trouble to face in this world. My roof leaking is not the last problem. If I get this fixed, guess what's going to happen next? I don't know, but it's going to be something, I guarantee you, because the devil does not stop. Okay? His job is to get you to not believe. His job is to steal your joy. His job is to kill you. All the things that we said in option number 1 and 2. He wants you to choose option number 1 and 2, not option 3. There will always be trouble. You're not exempt because you said yes to God. You're not exempt because you have money. You're not exempt because you don't have no money. You're not exempt for anything that you did in your life. Just because you got a college degree, because you're a really good person. You know, people get on the news all the time. I can't believe this happened. It was such a good person. None of that matters. Down here, this is the world of the enemy. So we have to operate understanding that this is not our final place. We have to always realize that. That's the only way to truly have any peace in this world, because if it's not one thing, it's another. But what matters is that you always have God, or have me on your side, it says, but have God on your side. What matters is that we always have God on our side. That's what matters. When you remember that God is the all-time champion who defeated the world, big things get cut down to their real size. Let's say it again. When you remember that God is the all-time champion who defeated the world, big things get cut down to their real size. You'll be able to see that your problems aren't so serious after all. Now, there's a lot of bad things that can happen to us. And I know this is easier said than done, because, in order for us to have the relationship with God, we must actually want a relationship with Him. Right? We must work for that relationship. We must get up. We must ask God to come in. We must allow Him to change our hearts and to transform the way we think. Because a prayer life cannot happen in the moment. Like some people ain't never called on God before, but then all of a sudden they lose their child, or they lose their home, or they lose their health, and now they want to call on God. But he can't, he's not there. You know why? Because you never established a relationship with Him. And it's not that He doesn't want to do things for you. It's that you don't believe in the power of Him. The shortfall is not on God's side. The shortfall is always going to be on our side. Because, in other words, you can ask for something, but do you really believe it in your heart? That is when you'll see the power of God. If you don't believe the power of God in your heart, really, and we'll know if you believe it, because it says where a person's heart is, that's where they will be. Do you go to church on Sunday? Do you do any kind of outreach? Do you minister? Do you share the word of God? Do you talk to the word of God? Do you read your Bible? Do you do anything that indicates that you are a believer, that you really believe in the power of God? Do you do anything? I'm not asking you to tell me. Just do that for yourself. But if you don't, everything in your life, let me look at your bank account. How much tithes have you gave in the last month? You know what I'm saying? What church or what organization have you given to? What poor person have you helped? Right? What have you done to make a difference in anybody else's life other than your own? I'll stop. I just want you to think about that when another time you can ask yourself those questions. But these are indicators of your what your relationship is with God. You can't see God's power. You can't see God's glory. You can't see the blessings in your life You will never be able to see blessings in your life. You will always think the world is against you. You will always have a negative, because at the end of the day, you might seem to be a good. See, a lot of people seem to be a good person on the outside. I was real good at that. Everybody would look at me and say, "Man, that guy has his life together. He's real." Man, I was such a mess inside. I was just I'm gonna tell you what I was. When I was young, I was a good looking guy. I'm not blowing my own horn. I'm just saying that I was a good looking guy when I was young. And that was my drug. My drug was, okay, girls like to look at me when I was younger. I don't know about now. I'm not so great looking now. But when I was young, I was into that. That was my drug. You know what I'm saying? I had to get this attention. You know what I'm saying? And it made it where, you know, I couldn't. That was my thing. But I didn't believe. I really wasn't the message. What the people looking at was a hurt young man. The people that were looking at me, they didn't see. They saw the outside guy, right? I knew how to put clothes together well, so I might have dressed a little. I might have had a little car or whatever. I might have had a gift to get, but I didn't have my life together at all. So we so good at looking at other people and looking at that outside image, right? That's why now we'll listen to somebody that don't know they head from their behind and listen to them about things that matter in politics. Rappers and people be basketball stars. What do they know about anything other than what do they know about this stuff? Just because they got some money in a basketball contract means they got an authority. I mean, we might as well let them operate on your brain then. They probably know a little bit about brain surgery. All right, who's a surgeon today? Well, I guess we'll just have Cardi B come in. She's going to perform the surgery on your brain, because this is really what the world is coming to. Whoever can entertain you the best is who you're going to believe in. They don't have their life together. They don't know nothing about life. They struggling with all this stuff, and you following right behind them, the blind leading the blind. A bunch of sheeps. But God is here to tell us that there's a better way. That is what this word is about today. The better way. Develop that relationship with God. I'm telling you from my own personal testimony. Develop that relationship with Him. And then you will see a change in your life, a true in your heart relationship. Like if you were getting to know me. You getting to know a new person. If you're a lady and you got a new guy, right? And you getting to know this person. You call him, he calls you. Y'all going on a date. You talk about things. What matters to you in the world? What matters to them in the world? What kind of y'all trying to feel each other out, right? This is how you got to be with God. You gotta, when you fall asleep at night, he was so good looking, or she was so good looking that I could not stop thinking about this person all night. I think I'm gonna call him right now. Maybe I'll text him, see what he's doing, right? What she's doing. That's how you got to think about God. You got to think about it like you getting to know Him. He's getting to know you. He already knows you. That's the whole crazy part about it. He already knows everything about you, but you don't know everything about Him. And once you get to know everything about Him, things in your life, the problems that we face don't seem as big anymore. I used to be, and I'm going to end on this note, I used to be deathly afraid. And I used to think about it a lot. About what if something happened to one of my children or my wife, or right when I'm not there. This is my last. What happened? What would I do if somebody, And you know what I realized? As an individual, I'm powerless to do anything. I can't truly protect them. I don't have that kind of bandwidth. I can't protect my kids from every single thing that is going to happen in the world. I can't protect my wife from everything that's going to happen in the world. I can't be there with them every time, everywhere they go. You don't think Kobe Bryant would have saved his child if he could have? He would have saved himself. He didn't have any, he had no choice. All his money and everything couldn't save it. That's why we can't put it all on ourselves. We can't put our faith in a man. If it got two legs and breathe and bleed and everything like you can't put all your faith in that. You better not put all your faith in me, because I'm just a guy. I'm just a man. God is the one that's only good. There's no good. Man is not good. Man can be corrupted, not God. So that is our word of the day, a better way, guys. So I'm going to go ahead, guys, and start wrapping this thing up. I want to thank y'all for coming out today to the stream. I pray that you received the word today, and that, that it gave you something to think about for today. So I'm going to go ahead and get closed out, guys, because I got praise and worship practice in a little bit. But thank you, Father, for this time. I pray for everyone here today, their family, their friends. And I pray, most importantly, that we all seek to develop a better relationship with you so that we can be shown the better way to live life. In Jesus' name that I pray, amen. So, guys, y'all have a great day. God bless you. Thank you again, Cherish. Great job today. My top tier Patreon. And then Jermaine also for joining, becoming a member of our Patreon family. Thank you so much. I'll be making sure, guys. I've been trying to be real consistent with posting on Patreon, so y'all be patient with me. But I'm definitely, I think with Patreon, where I want to go with that, I want to do some drawing stuff, but I also want it to be, me. I want, especially, I want you guys to get to know me more than, and learn some drawing at the same time. You get what I'm saying? I want to be a place where we can share, and y'all can share different things, and so that's just my vision for the Patreon. You know what I mean? Because I feel like at the end of the day, I want to lead by example. What good is it that I can, you talk things, but then, so I want you to see me, with my kids and what I do and what I'm doing when I'm not drawing, that kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's not all, drawing is great. That's great. We could draw some stuff, you know what I mean? But, I'm not going to, every video is not going to be about that. I'm going to tell you that right now. It's going to be some stuff, that I got on my mind and on my heart. I just want to talk to you. I need somebody to talk to. That's why I got Patreon. So I hope y'all want to talk to me, man. All right, y'all have a blessed day, man. I'll see you next time.